Chelsea have won a staggering 34 major honours, making them one of the most successful teams in England. However, 2 years on from Tuchel's Super Cup and Champions League win, the team has not won any major trophies. But not to worry, as today the manager Mauricio Pochettino has a huge challenge in front of him. As today he has to make sure that Chelsea win every major trophy, making them the greatest team of all time. As yes, people, jumping straight into this one, it is going to be a long save with Mauricio, as there's a lot of trophies to win, including the Ballon d'Or on that list. As is it going to be anyone currently in this team that wins it? I don't know, but in order to get the best out of our team, we've got to try and pick a tactic, and I'm going to go gegenpressing. Seems to get success from me, and allows this formation as well. We've got Caicedo to train as a centre mid, but we've also got another twist. At the start of every season, we have to spin this wheel telling us if we have to sell a player or can we keep one. As we're going to start, of course, in season number 1 right here, there is no days off from the wheel, as it's going to be keep. And that's just brilliant, meaning we can keep all these players and we can always spend money. There's always time for that. But before we get straight to spending it, we've got to observe this team, and for a Chelsea team to only have 186 rated, that's pretty disappointing, as we're going to be going through the training drills, getting a lot of players on centre forward, centre mid, full back, as I am tying myself down to the formation that we've selected. But the money, we have a big 145 million, which is big, let's not lie, but still, could we get bigger? Yes, definitely in future seasons, but that's enough to win a trophy with. As positionally, where I think Chelsea is definitely by far the weakest, has to be in goal. And that's stupid to say, because we've got the most expensive keeper in the world right here, Kepa Arrizabalaga, that's loaned out to Real Madrid. But no, I don't want to use him as Mike Mainan. This one makes sense with our 2 French centre-backs, Disasi and Badashile, as they want 99 million. To be fair, I don't have any plans for any other immediate players, so I don't mind splashing it on this man right here coming into the club, as we don't want to be too strong as well. And it might sound stupid to say that when we're trying to win every trophy, but there is the Conference League and the Europa League, which we're not currently in, as the expectation is Champions League. I wouldn't mind winning that first, but then we'd have to work backwards. It's a weird cycle, as do I think this team can get Champions League? Definitely not, you know. So let's just aim for conference first. As it's going to be a quick first season, there's time to build in future. We're just seeking out our squad, seeing if we're good or bad, as at least we're not below 13th. That is very nice. We are not in the Conference League, we are in the Champions League. Alright then, Chelsea, I did not expect that, as we lost in the FA Cup final. That was almost a trophy. Oh, to come so close in season 1, as the Carabao wasn't close. We went out in round 3. Could have been worse though, as this is how our squad looks. We've almost got a 90 rated goalkeeper, Miagan being a big first signing. But overall, yeah, it's been alright. I didn't expect an immediate trophy, as the team is growing. We do, of course, need a Ballon d'Or winner out of these lads, and a goalkeeper never wins it, does he? I'm kind of counting on Nkunku. If we could turn him into a Ballon d'Or winner, of course, as he's got 21 goals and 10 assists in the Premier League. That's not bad at all, as we've got some position changes to make. Madueke, that improves him. And also Cole Palmer, he's gone to an 82, as I'm training Colwill as a centre-back. But one player that I've gone for as a centre-back is Lavia. He's gone to 75. One of a lot of good young players who we'll probably need to loan more of next season if we are to keep going. And of course make them better, as the Champions League final this year, Real Madrid against Napoli. It's a weird one next season, because I'd obviously love to win the Champions League first, but I wouldn't mind if we dropped into the Europa and got that one ticked off. As a very cool, calm and collected start, improving a lot of players as we've got 151 million. Similar budget to last year, as where do we improve in this team? I'm thinking maybe a centre-back, but we do have Colwill, as well as Badiashile, so I'm going to put Colwill in, but of course, before we start anything, we have to spin that wheel. Are we selling or are we keeping the players in our team? Please stay on keep. We've been lucky 2 years in a row, as no selling required. But I could sell a lot of players still because we've got 44 members of this squad. That is huge. So yes, we've got to get rid of a few players right here, including Lukaku, Sterling, Kepa, and even Chilwell. Expected better from this man, but Cucurella has took over him, so sorry, Benny boy. You're gonna be out of here. As the next player I want to bring in, you may see as a weird shout, but Benjamin Pavard, another Frenchman. Only 31 million, and it's the same rating as the retired Thiago Silva now, plus he's not amazing. As we don't want to jump the gun, going for Champions League straight away. I wouldn't mind winning it, but this man could fall to a lower level, giving us chance to win a Conference League. It's all about pacing. We've got to start slower to make a long-term impact. And of course, starting a project means we've got to get rid of players as Sterling to West Ham, but Chilwell to Tottenham. What a traitor, man, as we've got now Caicedo as a centre mid, so at least everyone's in the same positions, of the positions that they should be. As even more sales going through, and we've spent a bit more money. He's not an absolute world beater, but a player for the project. Another Ecuadorian who will train as a centre mid or even a centre back. It is Oscar Zambrano. He's come from Barcelona at only the age of 20. As you can see, we've got the player countdown. 35's a good number for now anyway. As the Champions League group, it is Inter, us, Benfica and PAOK. But the question on everyone's lips, of course, is are we okay? Because we're not low down again. We are in the Champions League again. As that's good if we haven't already won it this year. If we've won it this year, it's a bit of a weird one, as obviously we want to win one of every trophy, but in the meantime, we win our first trophy, being the FA Cup with a win over Bolton. That is trophy number 1 out of 9 out of the way. As is their chance for a double, no, round 3 again in the Carabao Cup to United this time around. So not much luck there though, as in the Champions League we did dominate the group, level with Inter, as in the round of 16 we beat Napoli 3-1, moving on to Barcelona, who dispatched of us. Okay, fair game. I mean, they are a good team, and this team, well, I thought it would be better. I don't know, but one player that I did miss, Christopher Nkunku, labelled as one of the world's best, who did score 29 goals this year with 12 assists. Could he be in the running? Who knows, but one player that won't be in the running at the start of season number 3 is Reece James. The Chelsea man, well, decided to leave Chelsea. I had no control over that. Must have been on a release clause, as hopefully it gives us more money. And 355 million, that is perfect, you know. But before any of that, back to the wheel we go to see if we get rid of any players. And he's landed on keep again. I am enjoying this. But still, we must make the most of it, as we don't want to lose one of these two before the Ballon d'Or ceremony, because I think they might be up. I'd love it if they was, as yeah, we might as well just go with the Champions League flow this time around and get a new defender. I'm actually a big fan of Malo Gusto, so I'm thinking Disasi. It's time we get a left-footed centre-back, as this is where this man comes in. Piero Hincapié. I'm loving my Ecuadorians. 3 at Chelsea. If this man joins, of course, as it's exactly what he's going to do. Yep, We've made it the trio of Ecuadorians. As this man might be the best though, and I'm actually thinking instead of Gusto, maybe a midfielder. Conor Gallagher is the captain. But look how many we've got, saying we play 3 midfielders and only having 6 overall, with 3 of them being young players. Not good enough at all, as I don't want the midfielder to replace Conor Gallagher. Instead, be the same rating as this man, who I will absolutely butcher the name of if I say it out loud, has been compared to the new Kante. So that's why we'll bring him in, and I'm gonna try and say it. Oh, now he had a really good World Cup campaign. And that's how I remember him, as the bench. It could be stronger for a Chelsea bench, but the first team is strong enough. But is it strong enough for the Community Shield against Manchester City? It is on penalties. And the new signing scoring the winning penalty. Can you get any better? That is now 2 trophies in the cabinet. And what I believe to be great pacing. But you know what would be even better? In our 3rd season, winning the UCL. As have we got anybody up for the Ballon d'Or this year? No one, man. There is 3 Real Madrid players in that running, and there might not be a Ballon d'Or nominee at Chelsea for quite a while, as we finish in 5th, dooming us for Europa. Not the greatest at all, as FA Cup. We didn't make the final. We don't care about that one anyway. Already won that competition, as Aston Villa are having a good season. They've won the Carabao as well, but they aren't in the Champions League, which we haven't won in our group. Oh, wow. We got 8 points and finished 3rd in the table. Not the worst thing in the world, as we got the Europa League, of course. We beat Dundalk in the preliminary round, moving us to the round of 16, where we beat Berlin. The quarterfinals, we beat Antwerp, Betis in the semis, and we won the whole thing, which has me cheering. But we've just won the Europa League, and we're in it next season. Bit pointless, really. I mean, we'll take it. We're now on 3 trophies out of 9 altogether, but I'm kind of sad with that. Now, if we're into the Europa League, we kind of want to finish 3rd in that to try and tick off the Conference League. But with these players right here, I don't see us finishing 3rd. Our squad is incredible. Still only the 290 raters though. Cole Palmer, 87. He's progressing very well. Unlike Hincapié, who's only got an 83 rating, but our new Moroccan midfielder already up to an 83. Okay, so 3 trophies down, 4 seasons deep, 6 more to go, and a lot more fun to be had. I'm only joking, it's not fun. It is absolute torture trying to win the Champions League, but at the same time, the conference. A weird mix of emotions, as this is the team we've got. Now with higher ratings, the wheel becomes a gamble. As do we land on keep or sell for this season? I'm hoping on another keep, but that's going to be a sell. Meaning we move on to this wheel made up of first team players as the player we have to get rid of. It's Nkunku. Oh, how have we let this happen? He is our best outfield player. That's the Ballon d'Or objective being pushed back big time. As this is gonna hurt. He's one of the world's best players and certainly our best player, but he's no longer with us. And no, he hasn't passed away. The player stepping into his position is going to be Madueke, as we've got to use it as a blessing. Now we've got a 90 rated out of the team. Maybe we could try and step into 3rd place in the Europa and go and win the Conference League. I think that is the objective, as we've got 328 million. That is sound. Okay. I don't mind that budget, but I think, like I just said, if we're not going to replace Nkunku, we might as well keep that for next season and go and spend big time. Playing objectively this season, as we've got a Super Cup here. That is one of the trophies we need. But we're stopped by Harry Kane, meaning we won't tick that off yet, as I am an idiot. Max, you won the Europa League. Of course you're in the Champions League. Napoli, Monaco and Slavia Praha. Max, you idiot. Right. we're stuck with Madueke. As can he have the impact we wanted? Well, we are in the Champions League. Please have won the conference this year so we can actually move forward with this. As FA Cup, we don't care about. We have already won that. And the Carabao, no, losing in the final to Liverpool. As in the Champions League, we finished third in our group. We didn't need to do it this time. Into the Europa we went, where we lost in the preliminary round to Celtic. Oh my days, this is a terrible season. In two ways, because A, we haven't won a trophy, and B, we've lost Nkunku, which has just damaged us going forward. As another player I believe we lost is Benjamin Pavard. I didn't sign him up to a new contract. Didn't really want to, as at least we've still got a goal scorer though. Nicholas Jackson, 0 assists and 35 goals is honestly some achievement. As season number 5, absolutely screw it, I'm not messing around with this Conference League title no more. What I want to do is just go out there and get the players. We've got 411 million. Let's go for the conference later. We've got too many decent players. Come on, Cole Palmer. Is he ever going to be in the Conference League? Probably not. So what I want to do is try and take this Chelsea team forward, win all the major trophies, then drop down for the Conference League, which would probably require selling. As well, we're going to sell anyway. We have spun the wheel, which is on sell again. As long as it's not on one of our main players like Cole Palmer or anyone. Right, Marc Cucurella. We surely can get a replacement. Oh, but he is 86 rated. I didn't even realize that. Bye-bye, Mark. As we do have Ian Matson. He's not strong enough, as all that wheel spinning just reminds me of Nkunku, who now is at Atleti. Which is topical, really, because we're not messing around with the left back. We've gone to Atleti to fetch Miloš Kerkez. A brilliant young player threading straight into our defense, as the next position, of course, is the player just in front of him, which I am dying to get in, and I've never used on career mode. It is Kvicha. But we are going to approach Napoli, smacking on the table 170 million big ones, which they don't accept. That's caught me by surprise, that has. That, though, we can also accept from them. Becoming our whopper signing, and the new Chelsea number 10, the Georgian, who I think will rip up the Euros. Probably one of two signings that we're only going to make. Absolutely love it. Oh, but I don't love that. 110 weeks before he's an out-and-out centre forward. As I'm gonna cheat the system, making this position a left wing. Right now he fits in. That's a lot more better for him. But it doesn't matter really if he's in position or not, as long as we can put ourselves in pole position of that group. But could we do that, of course, in the Premier League, where we haven't finished third? It's either first or second. Come on, Blues. Oh, no. It is second. Manchester City. Game actually being a bit too realistic, but this is unrealistic. Luton and Sunderland. Good luck to both of their fans, as Carabao Cup, finally! We have done that domestic trophy. 4 now in the cabinet as the Champions League group, 16 points. That's very uplifting. As we went straight into the round of 16, where we drew Real Madrid. And they thumped us. Okay, so it's only one trophy, and I kind of do understand it. When our right centre-back is always going to be 81 rated, doesn't add for good things. However, we've got 3 90s now. Megan in net, Creature, and of course, Cole Palmer. Cold Coley boy only got 11 goals though. It was Nicholas Jackson getting 37 this time. A brilliant return, but he's only 88 rated. Will that ever put him in the eye of the Ballon d'Or? Who knows, as at the start of Season 6, you can see I'm taking a big risk, same as Pochettino. Having no body in the game just seems a little bit weird, but yes, that was Conor Gallagher. I have got rid of him. He just wasn't playing, but getting a lot of appearances, so he must have been swapping with either Caicedo or the Moroccan, stopping them from getting game time, as I want them to reach potential. I'm very happy with those two And of course Enzo Fernandez. But am I going to be happy with the wheel, which tells us if we either have to keep or sell one? It's going to just be sell. Meaning we are losing one of our first teamers, and oh my days. What did I just speak about? Right, so we're losing the Moroccan, and we've just got rid of Conor Gallagher. Could this have been piece better? Or should I say any worse? As now we've got to go out there and find a new central midfielder instead of defender. I wanted to sign a defender, but with that money, we could do both. As I'm going to take a gamble first, and with the midfielder, I'm going to go for a younger player, a 22-year-old Bruno, who is a regen, of course, as in he comes into the club right here, a decent sum of money as well, not too expensive. But of course there is a reasoning to the madness of getting an 83 rated when you've got all that money. And that's because it's going on Bastoni. As there's method in behind the madness. Of course, he's been in Creature's League, Mainland's League, and Bruno at Inter. He comes back to link them all together like a missing piece. A centre-back as well, and probably captain material. If we decided to give him the captain's armband, but I'm actually thinking now, it should go to Enzo. As if we are to win any trophy, I want to see the Argentine lift it, as this is our Champions League group. Dortmund and Benfica in there. As no Ballon d'Or nominee again for this season, but when you look at that list, I think there's a familiar face. Genuinely can't believe that, as before we get into looking at the season, Creature, his replacement, at least he's a centre forward now, which is a good sign of things, I guess, as we skip in up the Premier League. Top 1 this time! We have won the Premier League! Get in there! That is another one ticked off, as in the FA Cup final, we were beaten by Liverpool. Still, we don't care about these ones, as we did win the Carabao. We can still win trophies in the Graham Potter derby. Lovely stuff as all. The Champions League though. Dortmund, who were in our group, and won our group. As we finished bottom. Chelsea, bottom. Premier League winners, bottom of the group. How have we managed that then with a team as good as this one? How has Jackson managed that? A +4 rating. As I didn't expect this from the big man right here, Nicholas Jackson overall, netting over 40. As how are we going to do? Surely he's up for the Ballon d'Or going into this next season. I believe season 7, and he's 92 rated. I just cannot get my head round it. A few 90 rateds now. We just need to keep progressing them. Bruno being disappointed as he's not 90 rated. He is nowhere near it. Maybe that's our next signing. But of course, before we get into that, we do have to spin the wheel, which lands on sell. We're going to be selling again. As who's it going to be? Don't be one of the 90 rated. It is close to Kvicha, but it is Moises Caicedo. So goodbye to the Ecuadorian. I mean, it's not the worst loss of all. I already wanted to sign a midfielder, and maybe we just go for one powerful one. As we've got 367 million, so plenty of money to do so. We don't have to worry about that. Let's splash the cash. As the player that I want, we're going to keep going with the Italian links. Fabio Moretti at Wolfsburg. There's a special thing about this man. Last season in the save, Wolfsburg did win the Europa Conference League. So maybe a blessing in disguise, as it's cost us over 106.9, a lot of money for the Italian stallion. But he jumped straight in, and now that probably means Bruno has to stay. And with him staying, well, I want to keep the Italian links going, and this man is next. Destiny Udogie. A very controversial choice because, of course, his background. An ex-Tottenham player, but of course he wasn't at Tottenham in this save. And what am I even talking about? Pochettinos and Contes have gone from them. Manager swaps happen all the time, so he steps straight in. Of course, he is an Italian, and we're going for the Italian players. Don't know why we'd followed that theme, but we're going to, as Conte had real good luck with Chelsea. Speaking of Chelsea, I do have the kit on. If you want to get a kit like this one, a very good replica, soccer deal shop in the description, MWS10 for a discount. As back into rebuilding though, we've got the Champions League group here. It is Leipzig, Sporting and AEK Athens. Very decent little team them as Ballon d'Or nominees. We have 3 players up for it in Cole Palmer, Jackson, and who's that hiding? I'm so blind I can't even tell. It's Kvicha, isn't it? It's definitely Kvicha. As if we don't win it and Vinicius Jr. wins it, well, I'm going to go mental. As who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? We are getting the graphic. This is an insanely important thing. One of the hardest trophies to win. But we have done it, as under the envelope, it's Nicholas Jackson, of course. He's the man who deserves it. Well done, Nicholas. Pick up that Ballon d'Or, but more importantly, don't do it for yourself, but do it for us, as we've ticked off a big trophy. But fair play to him, you know. He has deserved it, as we've won another Premier League title again. And after that, an FA Cup. This is going swimmingly, as we've won the Carabao Cup and now the Champions League. We've done a fiver. I don't know what you call it. It's not a quad, it's not a treble, it's not a double, a quadruple treble, whatever. As we beat Real Madrid 5-1 in that game, Man United, and then Liverpool in the semis to add that extra trophy to our cabinet, as this is what our team looks like. The only problem now is we've got to try and win the Conference League somehow, with them players scoring a lot of goals up front. Maybe we have to sell them after the Super Cup, which is another trophy that of course we've got to win. As look at this. This could be Chelsea in a few years. We've got almost every good player on the transfer list, as we need to get rid of them, but still try and win the Super Cup, as I didn't sign them contracts up right there. Leaving Hincapié and Gusto to leave the club, as we didn't have many players. We're getting regen spawning in, which isn't bad, and I wouldn't mind another regen if we could hit one of our big players on the sell option. It could, of course, be a huge blessing in disguise, as it's going to land on keep. We don't want to keep players. We want to start selling them and using Chelsea players that have been here all the time. The likes of Sanchez, Colwill, Badia Sheilai, and Mikhailo Mudryk. He'll finally get his fair shot. And maybe some other players. The likes of Chukwuemeka, Ogochukwu, Kaside, Madueke. We all let them go throughout the years. But these just scream to me like Conference League players. Apart from Ian Matson, he chose to go to Tottenham. And that's what I've done, bringing them players I said in, also Dujon Sterling and Amano Broha. We've got Palmer and Bastoni still on the bench, as Nottingham Forest have got themselves a Ballon d'Or winner. Jackson going to them, we've sold Bruno, we've sold Kvicha. We're trying to sell to other Prem clubs that could potentially finish above us. Trying to screw ourselves over a bit. As you can see, we are the Champions League winners and we're facing the Europa League winners in Stade Rennais, where a lot of Chelsea ex-players did come from. We've ticked off that trophy. That's why I kept Cole Palmer around a little bit longer. If he's on the bench, he could maybe save us in some games, as losing to Nottingham Forest is weirdly a result I like. Tells we're not going to be top. And has our squad improved? From getting weaker, improved to our objectives, as we're above 9th. Come on, we're not 8th. We aren't 7th. We are 6th. Which I think is conference. I'm not too sure, actually, as we win the Community Shield, not the FA Cup, and not the Carabao. That went to the rival Spurs. Of course, we didn't win the Champions League, but to make the quarters with the team that we have. Honestly amazing. As you can see, we've got some good players, but the better ones got played. Cole Palmer on the bench and Bastoni, who we didn't manage to sell, still making an impact. As it's tough to see how much we had to rip this squad up. We've got 3 players now that are over 87. And did we get a surprise top scorer? Borhag did get 17. But of course, Palmer takes the biscuit. As did we make the Conference League? Oh no, we made the Europa League. That's not what we want. So again, it seems like quite the mission to try and relegate ourselves into another league. And I'm not talking from the Premier League. I'm happy with staying here, as this is our team. It is what we want it to be. But honestly, if we do get through into the Conference League, maybe, just maybe, we could do with a better player. But of course, wherever we are, we have got to spin this wheel, which this time round will land on sell. And just to keep this interesting, Bastoni and Palmer are on this wheel, and it lands on Bastoni. Tell you what, we've had some rotten luck. He has left us a free. I just can't believe it. At least it's not a bad time now. But it does leave us with 18 players. Not enough at all. We need to sign a few more, and that's what we're gonna do. By firstly bringing this man in, Dodo, the 5'5" Brazilian defender. An oldish one as well. Bit of a throwback to Thiago Silva being a Brazilian veteran, as this is a throwback to Caicedo, Baleba, and this is a true throwback to Ross Barkley, coming from Everton to Chelsea. Jared Branthwaite. Maybe gone a little bit too high with his rating, but of course if we're in the Conference League, we want to win it. Just depends on our group really, as Hamburg, Rapid and Dundalk, I think we hammer each one of those. So to try and make sure we drop down, this is a risk. But of course Destiny Adogie is an ex-Tottenham player, and we've lost the rest of our Italians, so what I'm gonna do is release him to try and make us drop down. As lads, I've already seen our games. And a 10th or 11th place finish in the league, as we should have no luck in the cups. Nothing in the FA Cup. Carabao, nope. Brighton in the final winning it. And in the Europa League, we finished 3rd. We were very close though to actually finishing 4th. Drawing with Dundalk, because you know what did us a big favour? Losing Robert Sanchez. I actually released him. Releasing him gave us Petrovic to step in, and he wasn't that great, which has helped us. As you might have seen the graphics in the background, we are in the final of the Conference League against OGC Nice, as we came through the preliminary, hammering the team that we played, squeezing past AZ, then Betis. Oh, and Anderlecht in the semis, as this is the team. Our best player, of course, is still Enzo Fernandez. In the starting 11, that is, as we're bringing this man back, a 30-year-old cold Palmer, who scored 29 goals. Broho with 26, both a 30-year-old, and both are young in real life. So I don't know how long this save's gone on, but all I can say is if we beat Nice, we have won every trophy. So yeah, brilliant stadium wherever this is. Haven't seen this in the Champions League. What is this? Never seen stadiums as nice as this, especially in the Champions League, which this isn't a final of. We should be winning this. But we've got to remember as well, our team is quite weak, but Baleba uses the strength. And this man isn't weak. Enzo was a weak pass when I say that, though. And Mudryk, come on, Mikhailo Mudryk, you've been at the club all the time. I didn't have to rebuy you. As the man in the middle, it is Cole Palmer. Wow, what a save by the keeper. Keeps Nice nicely on their toes as that's hit the crossbar. What was that shot? Believe it was a fizzer from Enzo, as Cole Palmer trying to find Borja this time. And Borja this time doesn't have to turn provider as the Albanian sticks it in the roof of the net. 1-0 Chelsea. Was only a matter of time, and the player that has returned to the club getting past Callum Doyle, who is a good defender. As we're all over them, come on. But it is only 1 goal. We've got to keep seeing this out. They can still get back in this, as I've got a very nice squad on paper. Duranville, Callum Doyle, but we've got Cole Palmer, who should be doing better. Embarrassing shot, really, as Bard gives it into Ross. And I don't believe it. Nice back in the game. They haven't been in it. We just stood off them and watched them get the equaliser. As now we actually have to perform, but they've still got the ball. Colwill, come across, please. That is straight towards Duranville. Game turning on its head as we search out a winner of ourselves. We've got a break on them. It is Baleba coming forward. Palmer in the middle, if he could chip the ball over to him. And that's what he does as he looks for Armando Broja, who finds Mudryk at the back stick. And Mudryk's missed, but if we keep this alive, maybe still another opportunity. As Sterling into Baleba. Chip that over the top. He's gone one too far. But Dodo now into Cole Palmer with 8 minutes on the clock, and surely the nice man has got us the win against the nice men. Tried to make something of that. It didn't work. Iceman against Icemen or nice men because of OGC knees. As it looks now, at least, like we should have this game wrapped up. How has that gone through? And how are they level? I hate this game. I seriously hate it. Extra time in a Europa Conference final, which is the last thing we wanted, or really expected, when we just need this trophy to complete all 9, collecting them like Infinity Stones as Mikhailo Mudryk. If we can hit the back post, it's Cole Palmer again. Keeper saving it this time, but not to fear, because we're into the second half of extra time. Try and poke it through to Palmer. Header onto Borja. If he's onside, that is rifled in the top corner, and we should be getting the win. Armando Broja, the Albanian, you know. Once he gets back to Chelsea in real life, maybe this could happen. Seriously, what a player. He's been the best one on the field, and the ball looks to him again. We're going to try and volley this for the hat-trick. It's gone to the keeper. It's scuffed, but it doesn't matter. The game is done. An unwanted extra time, but I don't care, because it is all worth it for Chelsea to win every trophy. As you might have guessed, who is lifting the trophy, kept him here despite all the sales and releases. Enzo Fernandez survived at the Blues and lifts the Europa Conference League. Not the trophy I wanted to end on. As if you've enjoyed this and you want a Chelsea kit for yourselves, link in the description to the Soccer Deal Shop. And if you want to see this with any other team, let me know in the comments, or click here if you want an instant video.